Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Husqvarna 254F zero turn rider with the Kawasaki engine on it. We're just gonna check everything out, sharpen the blades, check the belts, grease it up, and change oil and filters on the engine. Get it all ready for the mowing season. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we'll get ready to jack it up. Go ahead and take this cover off to get to the top of the deck there. Okay, we got it jacked up. I'm going to put a safety jack under the center of the front of the deck, and I'm going to pop the blades off and see if they're all right and get them sharpened. If they're in bad shape, we'll put new ones on, but we'll go ahead and pop them off now. Okay, got the blades off, and you just hold them up against each other. You make sure they're all parallel on each side so you know they're not bent. And make sure the corners ain't rounded off. These look really good, so let's go ahead and sharpen them. When I took the blades off, I had all this stuff wrapped around the blades and the quill assembly. Clean all that up. It's a good thing while you have it up in there is to clean all the gunk out of the deck. Make sure it's a nice clean deck so it don't rust out and stuff. So we'll put a nice clean edge on these. Nice, nice edge on there. Like brand new blades again. And when I do this, I'm going back and forth like 10 times on each side. That way I'm taking out the same amount of metal off each side so the blades stay balanced. It's like brand new blades again. Just when your corners start getting rounded off, that's when you start leaving strips as you're cutting. So if you like have a nice 90-degree corner on there, you're good to go. And on these Husqvarnas, they have the 5-star pattern on there, and make sure you get them set on them stars that are on the quill or mandrels, whatever you call them, so they don't mush them out. And always make sure that the wings go up in the deck. So I'll get these put on and we'll go grease it up then. Okay, we're gonna grease everything up now. And these here is two zerks on these front axles, and there's zerks on the hubs. Sure they're nice and clean forward. Do the ones on the axles, and make sure you wipe off the excess grease on them. Grease off, then there's zerks on each one of the mandrels or quills where the blades and the pulleys go on. This is a 3-blade one. There's one here, and there's one on the other side, and there's one on the center. And while we're doing all this, we'll inspect the belts and the brackets that hold the deck on here, make sure nothing's bent up. Any sticks and twigs, make sure we get them out of there. Just gotta inspect everything. And we'll look around some of the brackets. Some of them have like zerks on them, but I don't see nothing on this one here. Just make sure all the deck wheels spin and everything. Just basically look everything over. If there's something bent or something, fix it. Front armor looks pretty nice, so now we'll start on the back of it. Okay, this one here has a drain hose on it. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a hose that runs out of the motor, and it lets it drain to the back of the engine so it don't get oil and everything. We're just gonna let that drain. Let it drain really good, then we'll change the oil filter on it and the air filter and spark plugs and everything. Right now we'll let it drain. As you can see, that air filter is really dirty. We're gonna go ahead and put a new air filter on there and stuff too. Okay, while the oil is still draining, we're gonna go ahead and change air filters. I like using the air filters with the pre-filter on them. A lot of the fine dust gets caught up in the foam part. That saves the life of your paper element inside the filter. And on these Kawasaki's, you just turn this little black finger grip thing right here. Just loosen it up and just pop it right on out of there. And before we install our new one, I'll blow all this dirt and debris out of there so don't clog up the blue filter right away. These new Kawasaki engines are a really nice engine. But to make them last a long time, you gotta regularly change oil. Don't let them run low on oil. Just get all that debris out of there. And we'll install our new air filter. Just get it pushed in there. And just turn that so that hose clamp is nice and tight. And clip it down. Then I like to change the fuel filters every springtime too. I guess you don't have to do it, just in case there's a lot of junk in your tank or whatever. That's what filters it out before it gets to your carburetor on your engine. And when you install new ones, there'll be an arrow on there, but it's usually the big side goes towards the engine. The big side here. Like I said, they usually have arrows on them to show which way the gas flow is. And we'll put our clamps back on. And I also like to change the spark plugs in the springtime too. That's not a, don't have to do that, but I just like nice clean spark so it burns the fuel mixture. Then on the boots of the spark plugs, I like rocking them back and forth a little bit before I pull them off so you don't tear the rubber boots on them. And I'll get a spark plug wrench and we'll pop them off. I like doing all this stuff while the oil's draining and give you something to do. And while you're doing all this stuff around your engine, just kind of check your wiring, make sure the mice ain't chewing on them and stuff, and make sure all your connections are nice and clean. And this motor was burning really good. Don't have black sit on or nothing. And these are NGK's BPR 4ES. So I'll go grab some. I'll grab some and we'll put some new plugs in, and by then the oil should be done draining so we can change that oil filter and put some new oil in there and it'll be about done. So I'll go grab a couple plugs. Then when you get your new plugs, make sure you gap them to what the motor specs are supposed to be. It's, on stuff like this, it's anywhere between 30, 33, and 35. For different brand motors and different size motors, they have different gaps. Just set it to your engine specs. And push the boots on until it clicks. And on your back tires, make sure you have the same amount of pressure in both back tires on 0 turns, or else it won't cut level. And also do the same with the front tires. It will say on the side of the tires what air pressure they take. Yeah, looks like the oil quit dripping. So we'll go ahead and put the plug back in. And on these plugs with the hoses on them, you don't need to torque them down until you can't torque them no more. Just make sure they're tight enough so they don't come off. Because when you take them off, it's really hard to break them loose. Okay. Now we can take the oil filter off and put a new one in there. And it's right down there by where you put the oil in. I got my oil pan underneath there. There's usually a hole on the motor deck there where the oil will drain through, but it'll leave a little bit of oil on that flat plate. Just wipe it off really good with a rag or a paper towel or something. And the oil filters should be like hand tight, but sometimes you need to use like an oil wrench or pliers that are for oil filters to break them loose. This one was hand tight because it broke right loose. I'm gonna go lay a paper towel underneath that to try getting much oil. On the paper towel instead of on the frame here. We'll try to give me a better view from the camera, but this is like a tight area. Just unscrew it off, and then there's like a little drip plate underneath the filter. Clean that off really good. And where the filter screws on and where the gasket is, make sure that's all nice and clean. Make sure there ain't no dirt on that. Now we can put a new filter on there. And we'll go ahead and screw that on there. Make sure you screw it on straight so you don't cross thread the threads. There we go. Now we can go ahead and put new oil in it. And on these here, I like to put 1.75 in them. Start it up, let it run for like about 20 or 30 seconds, then shut it off, then check the oil again. Normally it takes like about 2 quarts. That way it gives oil time to get through the oil filter. So I'll go grab some oil. Then always check your battery connections on the battery. Make sure they're nice and tight and there's no corrosion on them. When we get this done, we can start her up, see how it runs. I'm gonna put 1.75 in here, then start it up and let it run for about 20-30 seconds and check the oil. And let it drain out of the funnel there. Well, we got everything done. We got everything checked out, so it should be ready for the mowing season here. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching my videos. Anyways, you have a good afternoon.